everyone, this is Sharing the Therapy Birds and her Pitbull Master face. She's around here somewhere. I don't know where she just went. Big Bird's been fed. The bird room's all clean-ish. I haven't done the deep clean like I wanted to because we keep having rainy days and then I can't do nothing. I have to have 3 days in a row. And make sure it's completely dry. Anywho, Lizzie is in bed. This is her little spot. She has that prime spot because they can look out the window really well. So she likes that spot. So she's not going to let Isha or Izzy up there. Izzy's right there. Isha's running around here somewhere. Oh, she's behind. Who is that? Nope, that's Snickers. Snickers, what you doing? You looking at the loves? Anyway, Izzy's in there. Isha's around here somewhere. Little bit's right there. And they're just going to go in at their will. Hey, leave him alone. Thank you. Don't you cause a ruckus in there, Miss Girlfriend. You can give him a love kiss or something like that, but don't cause a ruckus. Were you saying hi, Sass? So Izzy has a tendency to get the boys riled up. Just because she's bored. So she'll go and do stuff like that. Most of the females are very good at doing that. Lizzie's not so much. She's sneaky just like they are, but she's not sneaky in the sense of causing a ruckus. She's just sneaky about babies and how she can get them without actually taking care of them. And she's done that 3 times. Excuse me? Excuse me. We're not barking at neighbors. Come over here. Come here. Come here. That's not even our dog. Come here. The night duty dude is here. He's technically not on duty, but we're not allowed to do some certain things like landscaping and stuff like that while we're on duty. So it will. Excuse me. Come here, please. Come here. Faith. Come here. I live here, so I'm a living aid, so I can do a lot of landscaping on my off hours, which I usually do after they go to bed. Say stop, please. But anyway, we're doing mowing today. So I think he's out there. Yeah. Who's he out there? They're mowing the lawn. They're doing the work. Making everything pretty so you can roll in the grass and not get allergies. I actually planted a lot of... The grass was here. She's allergic to some grass that's out there. My understanding is like 5 different field grasses out there. It's like good for horses or whatever. But anywho, something she's allergic to. And so... I planted some stuff in the backyard that was conducive for the chickens and birds to eat. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're taking out and cleaning up the cages. And so they get cleaned out twice a day. I have divided them enough for me to do it. Sometimes if there's too many birds in one, which I can have obviously, but if there's a lot of birds, I'll do 3 different cleanup jobs. And so you won't see the cleanup stuff. Who wants to see that? But you're going to get to see the babies do a dust bath, which is what this is. So this is my dust bath. It has a hole here so that the chickens, when they're doing their soak, can stick their head out. It's just less anxiety for them because there's water in there. And then all my quail are trained not to jump in here and or fly or cause any ruckus or whatever because they know that's a dust bath and they want to dust bathe. So usually what I do is check. There's a lot of every quail I have, including some of the chickens. Isha uses it to lay her egg. She knows it's time for them to do it, so she's going to come over here and annoy me. But anyway, they'll come in here periodically and use it if they can't get outside as a dust box. So all the birds can and will use it. So generally, I just make sure there's enough dust in there to actually do anything of good. And if not, I will just add to it. So that's what I'm going to do now. It's going to be a little bit flyy, just because I'm adding some to it. It's very granularly. And they'll go to bed with this, and then their bedding will get changed, obviously, because that's what I'm doing. And then when they get back into their living quarters, they will kind of like do a shake and shimmy, and blow it all over their living quarters, which deodorizes their living area after I clean it up. So we kind of work together as a team. So we're going to do this group first. This is my little couple. They're about a month old. Every 2 weeks I'm getting babies, so the only way I can count them now is we got the week-olds here, the 3-week-olds down here, and then these are about a month and 1 week, so 5 weeks old. And they're fully feathered. Actually, these are my couple, so they're feather sexable. So the female is over here, and the male is over there. The male is red. They have different parentage, obviously. Anyway, the light is going to bother them, so I might turn the light off at times, just because they have a tendency to do flight with it, and I don't want them flying because they think it's a predator coming. And it took me a long time to figure it out, because when predators' eyes, like cats and different animals, will glow in the dark. Excuse me, I am recording. You need to stop. So they'll glow, and so the light on my camera is similar to that. And so the camera's in their rooms, so some of them have cameras, if you see the little wires going up. So this nursery has one, this one has one. Excuse me, what is going on in there? Luna and Macho. I gotta fix that. Anyway, I'll let you guys watch them. I think you should be able to see them pretty good without the flash. So let me see what we got here. That's the plastic. Okay, so you can see them pretty well. They should be able to start dust bathing. They just got they were a little hungry, so normally their food is not in there when I open the door, because I usually clean out first, but I'm running a little bit late because I was doing some work. I took off early so that I could do some work outside. But anyway, when I ran over in their life, I ran over. So we're running a little bit late on their end. So they're very scheduled animals, so they will get hungry if you're late. Now, I disagree with leaving their food in there. I mean, I do leave their food in there, but I leave the quantity of whatever each house has. And so I don't take their food out until it's empty. If it's empty, I'll just pull it out and put it in the dirty dish pile. But when I come in, I check all of them out if they have ate or not, or finished or not, because they're going to get new food. There's only so long I will let them have it. And then this food is enough for overnight. Excuse me. Good night. This is for overnight. She wants this food. She wants the leftovers is what she wants. That was Isha. This is not leftovers though, I forgot. That's their actual food. Normally, if they have leftovers in the mornings, I'll give it to the big birds and they'll finish it off or whatever if it's good. But this is all fresh food. This is all their night food, so I can't give it to them. You gotta go get your own. It's up there with your mom. Go see your mama. She has it. So they're not. These are like babies. So they're almost. They haven't hit puberty yet. There are hatch mates. The one thing I do with my birds is that I usually have, if I have them, this group didn't have a juvenile available to me because they were the first hatch. So my second hatch, by the time that they're born, these ones were like two weeks old, fully feathered. And so I usually pick a female if I can feather identify out of that, and I use them as the nursery moms. And so there's a tuxedo that I had put with the females, and that's another thing. Hey, don't do that. No, we do not jump. The female, I put these babies, when they're fully feathered, I put them with the females, and if they're not sexable, and they will tell me really quickly if they're boys or girls. So my tuxedo girl is, like I said, she's only like 5 weeks now. She's my nursery mom. So she's taking care of my 2-week-olds. And then I have a little girl that's the 2 weeks old, or now they're 3 weeks. But they're 3 weeks old. And I have the 3-week-old. One of my girls has got hip dysplasia on one side. So basically her hip is popping in and out. We're trying to strengthen the muscle so it would stay in place. But that's basically what's going on with that. But she is my nursery mom for the babies that are only a week old, and she's obviously the best fit for it because she can't really do anything. She can't run around or anything like that, so it's kind of cool. But she loves it, and they love her, so that's all that matters. It's just that I normally don't put him in there that young. I did that before with Blondie, which was my only white bird that I had hatched. And that had a lot of developmental issues, as far as she had hip dysplasia. She had a lot of internal issues. She couldn't digest very well. Anyway, she didn't develop and didn't grow very, very much at all. This little girl is growing like a normal. I mean, her siblings and her are the same size. Blondie was not. She stayed at like baby size. She was still feathering out and all that stuff, but she never grew. But anyhow, I used her as a nursery mom, and she did really well with that. She was going to pass away. I'm aware of that she was going to pass away, but I like to give my birds a life. I like to give them something to achieve, and so if they're not able to be socialized or with other birds of their own age, then I usually put them in with the nursery babies. So anyway, these guys are coming out because they're getting very, very anxious. Like I said, these are really babies. These are not even teenagers yet. Stop it! And these boys over here are acting up. Just a minute. Somehow or another, Macho is where isn't where he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be on a perch. But somehow or another, he is not. Where is he at? Come here. Why are you down there? Why? What purpose are you down? Is that what you're trying to get? This little bit of food that's not even yours? Sorry, you're looking at my dirty laundry that Faith has her boxes over there as well. I don't even know what you're looking at because I'm blind as bat, but I'm pretty positive it's just my dirty laundry and Faith's boxes. Anyway, that was not off the subject of what we did. So we just cleaned that one out. So now we're on to the next one. Once again, I'm going slow as molasses because I usually don't talk and do stuff at the same time. So this is going to be awkward because it's a tight fit. Would you move, please? Why are you being in my business? I know nothing. You can fly. See, the flyers, Liz is my, and Snickers are my only non-flying chickens. And so I don't really pay attention to what the other ones are doing. Okay, so these are my ferals. So I wanted to, I have to look it back up, but I was watching like the Myers YouTube channel for like color identification of quail and all that stuff. And they were talking about this one bird that looks like a feral, but has white tipped wings. And I'll show you that in a minute. But these are my feral adults. These are all feral. They're different ones. Some are wild, some are gold, or rue, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I was watching this video and I'm like, because I was looking for the one, I have 3 of them. I have some that are newborns, and I have some that are this age, which you're looking at right now, adults, and then I have some children. And so then I was watching the video, but I have to go back to look at it again to find out. I wanted to check how many I had, because I don't really look at my birds in that kind of sense. So I don't pull their feathers out and all that stuff. I just handle them to get them where they need to go and that kind of thing. So anyway, I found out I had like 3 of them. And it's a mixture of, I have the 2 different ones, but I think it's a tuxedo and I asked Rebecca Lynch what would you get, and she said it would just be 50-50, but that's this Myers people. I can't remember what the two birds are. I think it's tuxedo. Why are you guys all pooping your little heads out? You guys should have seen that. The ones across from us were, I had the door came open, and they were all peeking their little heads out the little crack. They know that they don't come out when the big birds are around. They don't want to, because some of the big birds, which are the ones that are hanging around, why they're probably hanging around, because they don't like, this is the hardest one to get out of here. This corner is so, and I had a cardboard, again, I keep making these little cardboard squares, and then I say to myself, oh, just put it away, don't lose it this time, and then when I go to find it, every day I need it, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't clean it every day. So it's like, okay, I'll make sure I put it in the same place, then I never can find it again. I don't know what happens to them. I have a feeling that one of my birds is snatching them up, but can't prove it. I just don't want to go through this every day. Alright, so anyway. I'm going to talk while you guys are watching this. So these are my adults. The babies take a while to get to start dust bathing, and they're just like at that scary stranger, why is a predator taking care of us confusion type situation. But generally they start hanging around with that one couple, feral couple. I moved their wall, so I gotta fix it. They're like, what the heck happened, Mommy? The wall moved. I know. There you go. I fixed it for you. I'm sorry. There you go. They're like, the whole wall moved, Mom. They were all stuck in the corner. But they are surrounded by adults, so they are going to take the cues of the adults. As long as the adults aren't like freaking out or whatever, they're going to be fine. But I just have to be careful with the light. Alright. Done cleaning that. Now I'm just going to put their pee pad down and put their food back in there. It looks like they almost consumed it. They have like maybe 5% left. But yeah, I give them enough that they're supposed to have, and then I don't fill it back up. And I try to take it out at night, so they just have their, then they'll have their waters. This other lady said that they'll start hurting each other if I do that, and I'm like, I've been doing this for a year. The only time that they hurt each other, I've never had any of my girls hurt each other. Not one time has my girls attacked each other, and I've had all my girls at one time fix cleaning kennels and different things if I didn't have the dust box in place, or I was using it for a nursing situation, or I had to put somebody in quarantine. Sometimes I use it for that. But I'll put all my girls in one kennel so I can get them all cleaned, and then I'll just put them all back. And that's a lot of adult birds in one small spot. It's only about 5-10 minutes, but once again, they don't start fighting or nothing like that. But they're bossy, just like any bird in a covey would be. We have the hierarchy. I have my OGs and all that stuff, but there's no fighting. Now, the only time that my birds do get injured is if accidentally my boys knock down their wall, because they have a wall between the two bachelor pads. They knock the wall down and one gets in there with the other one. That can happen. They self-injure themselves. That happens. And then the other time is Isha and Izzy get a hold of them. And those are the ones that hate the quail. All my other birds love quail. It's just those two. And Isha more than likely because of her mom. But anyway, that's done. But yeah, Isha did a number on 2 of my girls. And the boy got hit too, but not as drastically. But one good thing about the birds is they do heal very quickly. Like 2 or 3 days, they're gone. It's done. They're already getting feathers back and pinned and all that stuff, and it happened like a week ago. So anyway, oops, food. You're like, well, where'd my food go? Here you go. See, I wasn't done eating with that, Mom. I wasn't done eating. Okay, so these are my tuxedo girls. I'm blocking, but a little bit, a little bit, and the babies stay out here. The babies usually are the last ones to go to bed because they kind of have a little bit more freedom when all the adults are in the bed. Kind of like going to grandma's house type situation. And so the babies, Snickers and Doodles, will generally stay out for about a half an hour, 45 minutes longer, and then they'll keep coming back and forth and like pacing and such. That's basically letting me know that they're kind of. But these are my tuxedo girls, and some of them have the wingtip, and some don't. I'll show you. Come here, babies. Okay. Do you guys want a dust bathe or not? Look. Do you want a dust bathe or not? They don't. Okay. This is the one I think that has the white on it. Want to see her wing? Yeah. So she has wing tips. See? And most tuxedos don't have wing tips. Come here, baby. I don't think, anyway. But the ones that I'm curious about is the ones that look just like pharaohs, but they have the wing tips. White wing tips. Like that. But these are tuxedos, so I have to look it up and find out. But I know I have a couple pharaohs. I have to show you as soon as these little girls come out of here. I don't like to grab them. I like them to come to the door, but it's getting late at night past their bedtime. Like I said, they're on a schedule. And they don't like going off schedule. Oh my goodness, you girls. And these ones, like, there are a lot of juveniles in there, or young adults, and they have a tendency not to follow the rules. I try to have an OG in each room with the girls, but sometimes they just don't mesh. So in this particular group, I have one OG, which is my Melody, which is a very shy girl. And so she's got all these tuxedos, females. So I have different kinds. I have all reds, I have golds, I have the wild type, I have all different kinds. I'm most proud of my pharaoh boy. I think he's a pharaoh boy or tuxedo boy. I think he's a pharaoh boy. Anyway, I stick them over there. And you guys can watch them. The yo-yo-yos. See, sometimes we have eggs, sometimes, most of the time we don't. In the evening, but we have one out of the tuxedo group. And we're just giving those to the crows. With all the egg shortage, you'd think that I could find somebody that would take my eggs, but no. Now I have the birds for a lot of different reasons. Eggs are one of them. Surprisingly, I do eat eggs, but I don't eat my birds' eggs unless I have to. Which means if I need eggs, I just go to buy a dozen eggs from the store. But if I had to, if something came down where there was no more eggs available, and obviously I would at that point have no qualms about eating their eggs. So growing our own food source is important to me. I'm always interested in that, and that's always on my mind. I could survive off my birds' eggs, but if we have a food shortage, I probably wouldn't have that much food for my birds. A lot of people don't think about that. If you're buying your own food, you're not growing bird food, then you're gonna. Yeah, I hate to say this, but you're not gonna find bird food during a food shortage. You have to have your own food. And they now, apparently the company, corporation, and the designer and the production of the seeds, apparently they all own them. So if you grow something and try to reseed it, like the next year or whatever, apparently you're not allowed to do that. Pretty sad place when you can't grow anything, and you can't even control what you grow. Nowadays, that's scary. Basically, they control the food of the world. At that point, like I said, that's pretty scary. And I don't know, I'm having issues with just finding seed that grows anything anyway. I've tried to grow it in the ground. I try to grow it in pots. I buy all the stuff that you need and water it and all that stuff. And nothing, the plant grows not a lot of fruit. That would have been Faith kicking the babies off the bed and telling them to go to bed. Snickers and Doodle, it's time to go night-night. Doodle can get to bed on her own. Right, Doodle Bud? You can get on your own. You don't need nobody helping you. And I'll put Snickers away as soon as she tells me she's ready. Snickers will come to me and tell me she's got to go to bed. Just like her mom. Isha can go to bed on her own. Little Bit can go to bed on her own. I don't put them to bed. Little Bit ate something. I don't know what she ate. Something she shouldn't have. That's probably the fact. But anyway, she's got to be careful because she gets digestive issues very easily. Alright, I am putting their food back. I have about a fourth left, which is good because there's quite a few of them in there. I will get you water in a minute, girl. I have to fill it up. I didn't get you water. I have to fill it up. Alright, so the next group. Wait. Alright. So their room is done. So what I usually do, these tuxedo girls are very flighty to me. They're very high strung. Let me put it that way. Alright. Let's go. But once again, they all are mostly young adults. So there was only one. I only had one tuxedo female last year. So this is all of the ones I got this year. Some of them from Thieving Otter Farm. All the red ones like this one. Those all came from her. Well, technically speaking, I'm having their babies right now. So that's my first gen, and my second gens are in the nurseries, and mostly are a mixture. All right, so next group on the list. I gotta move my stool over to get the angle I need. If I can't get the angle, it hurts my back. I have really bad scoliosis, and with additional to a muscle and ligament disorder, so it just compounds each other. So the support system, supposed to have both support system, but I don't. All right, you guys ready? These are my red groups. Some of them are my originals, which is the standard size, which is this size here. This one is one of Thieving Otter size. She has a jumbo. This is my pride, Ruby. She's a jumbo from Thieving Otter Farm. And I'm sorry, that was not Ruby. This is Ruby. Isn't she gorgeous? That one's mine. So I have a lot of standards. Most of those are standards, and then I have the one from Thieving Otter Farm, which is a jumbo. I don't know if you would consider all of them jumbo, but I think at least 2 out of the 4. I should be okay with the light on this one. We'll see if they freak out. These ones are a little bit older, So I have some OGs in here so the girls don't freak out as much if there's an OG involved in their house. They're not as friendly. I try to make sure that I have at least an older, mature adult in the room. So I have a 1-year-old from last year when I first started, and then I have Stevie and Otter. I think I got those in the fall, so they're almost like 8. They're almost like 10 months old. They're almost 10 months old. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I want to put these dishes so they're not in my way. So I had to get a water dish out. The girls right now I have it on order for next paycheck for the adults to have water. I'm having a hard time finding waters that work for these birds. I think I have finally found something I want to use. So I found it in bulk. And so once again, they should be coming soon. So they have the bowls, but they tip them too much. And then anything else that's supposed to be adhered or screwed to something, I wash them 3 or 4 times a day. So I'm not going to unscrew and unscrew and unscrew and screw. I need something that's freestanding so that I can just pull it out, take it, but not big and huge, which most of them are like that. They're big and huge. I need something like for small enclosures, for quail enclosures. Anyway, so like I said, most of them are not adequate for me. I need to be able to, I can't unscrew a waterer for each one of my birds. I need to be able to pull the waterer out, wash it, clean it, dry it, and then fill it up and put it back. So that's what I finally found what I need, and I actually got it through the brooder, which I don't even use it for that age when they're in that brooder. The ages that they're in that brooder is from newborn, from like a couple hours old to 2 weeks, and then they get moved out. So that at that age, they're not, the waterers that came with it, I can't use them. They're too big for them for that age. The babies are too small. Too small. So next year, I think I'm going to do, because these birds, they don't apparently last very long. I don't know. That's what I heard. No, their room is clean and they're not done yet. Typical female. They're in the bathroom. Need them out of the bathroom. Alright, you guys. Are you going to bed? Izzy, why are you back out here? You missed. She's out here bossing the babies around. Are you bossing those babies around? Alright, go to bed. Everybody's going upstairs, Liz. You better share. I don't want to hear no squawking about Isha and Izzy being on the floor because you knocked them down last night. I heard you. And I'm going to knock you down if you do it again. I'm not going to really knock her down. I'm just going to take her off to her perch. She can't get there on her own, and they can. And she kicked them off yesterday last night. Isha and Izzy. I was just so tired. I was like, I looked at the camera and I'm like, I'm going back to bed. They were together, so and they both can fly, like I said. Hi, Snickers. Hi, Doodle. What you guys up to, my girls? My girlfriend. You come see Grandmama and give her kisses? Isha, you want to come see Mama and give her kisses? The 3 babies. Wait for these babies to get done. Girls, hurry up, Mama. Hurry. Mama got work to do. Alright, let me start taking out the babies. Oops. Let me help. Shut this door. Let me help. Little girl. Come on, Mama, help. Alright, I help this baby. Alright. Alright, so you guys the dust box. That's what they want. I have 2 more to go, girls. I still have the babies. I have 2 babies to do. While they're doing that, I'm going to check these boys real quick. And take out their waters. These are the ones. Check on their food. See how they're eating. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Dottie. Hi, Darkness. Hi, Trinity. Hi, beautiful. You ate your food all gone? Almost. Almost. Hi, beautiful. No, we're not getting out. I know you're pretty boy. No, back up. I know it. You're so beautiful. Naughty boo. Hi, my Mr. Red. You thirsty boys? Yeah? You ready for some clean water? Take out your dirty ones. That means you're going to get new ones. And some of you need to clean up your kennel. Daddy, stop flying in your house. Stop flying it. Stop it. I will take it out if you want me to. Daddy has a musical instrument in his mouth. And he will. He'll jump on it. Jump, jump, jump. And make music. So if you hear something go twang, 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 that would be Mr. Jump Boy. Are you going to bed now, Isha? Alright, so go to bed. You want Mama to help you? Because only when I wash out and have to air dry right now, until I get those new waters, is the girls. So I change out and switch them around and wash them up. Come on, babies. It's time to go to bed. Alright, my hands are wet, so I can't touch them yet. Waiting for the babies to eat all their food. Alright, let me get them back in there. Room is clean. They have the suite. I call this a suite. So they don't share. Like these ones, there's 3 of them in here. They share with 2 over here. So technically, this suite, this whole kennel there's 5 birds. Down there, there's a total of 6, I think. This group, I don't think there's like 3 or 4. I don't remember how many's in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So technically, the tuxedos probably should be in there. They have a suite too, so they both don't. Neither one of them share. Excuse me. Are you ready to go night-night? Come here. Come here. I'm not chasing you. Come here. I'm not chasing you. Come here. They do this every night. Every night since they were born. They act like they're dying. Look. You guys are nuts. Come here. I'm not chasing you. Stop. Are you alright? She likes to perch. Step up. He doesn't. She doesn't. Come here. You're going upstairs with Mums. Yes, you are. Alright, we're going to put you behind a little bit. Over here. You leave her alone. Leslie boo. Don't do it. Leave her alone. Oops, sorry. I'm looking at them, not the camera. Leave it. Don't pretend like you're looking at the wall. What are you looking at? My goodness. If I hear any squawking in here, somebody's getting in trouble. Somebody lay down. Yeah, that's right there. I'm waiting. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Good night, baby girls. I sweet love you so much. Love you, Sassy Boo. Love you, Honey Boo and Moo. Love you, Macho. Love you, Luna. Alright. I have to get these babies back up in here. And make my bed. My bed got washed last night. And I didn't get to put it away. Oh, yeah. So usually if there's more than 4, they get a whole suite to themselves. If they have the space. Woof. Alright, so now these are babies. Like I said, she is 5 weeks old. She's a tuxedo, and technically you could vent sex her, I guess, at some point. I'm not good at that, and I don't feel comfortable doing it. It's not that I think I'm grossed out by it. I just don't technically know what I'm doing. So, anywho, I don't do it. So, what I'm going to do is take their food. I take their stuff out first. It gives them used to. The babies get skittish at this age, which is normal because normally they're out and about foraging with mom, and so they're heightened. Naturally, they're heightened for extra, like being very jittery. I guess the word I want to say. They will grow out of that jitteriness if they're in an environment that's safe and loving, but if there's predators around or stuff like that, and they don't feel safe, or there's no enrichment, they can get very, very self-destructive. I've noticed. I would say that they're very social animals. I'm trying to put this camera somewhere where it doesn't fall. I'll stick it up here with the babies. Alright, so she's my little au pair. So I do this with all my babies. I'm going to turn my light off so we don't freak them out. So I try to put somebody that's a couple weeks older. But like I said, I do my groups once a year. They don't. They have a very short lifespan. So that way I don't lose my gin. I don't have to start up fresh. I rather use my own eggs than have to purchase eggs from somebody else. But I do purchase them from reputable breeders in the field that I'm purchasing. So all my birds are Caledon, which is a blue egg quail, and they typically are white with Dalmatian type spots on them. I'm just getting them used to me because, like I said, at this age they're fully feathered, but they're very skittish, and that's because they're out in the wild, and they just have this heightened awareness of being like danger. So what I'm going to do is grab the bigger one first and put her in. She's a good girl. And if one goes in, the lid goes on. Just because they'll start flying out at this age. I also put a net up and was supposed to do it this Easter weekend, but I didn't do it. So these are my Thief and Otter second gens. Aren't they gorgeous? Come here, baby. These are my wing. I'm going to show you my wingtip ones. So she's a tuxedo too, yeah. But see, isn't she gorgeous? Alright, so I have a couple of those. Hey, no jumping. These ones are new. So the training and such, we start at this age. Like I said, I usually have the net out by now, and that goes around my bed, and then we have what's called flight time. But right now we don't have flight time because we don't have this area for it. So like I said, it's just basically a net that covers my bed. I put the pee pad down, of course, and then they have flight time every day. All the big birds, the little birds, all of them get to do it. So usually how I usually do it is all the babies come out first, the youngest come out first, and then I'll go up in age. And then when I get to the adults, I take all the girls out at once and they have flight time together. And instead of taking them house by house, and then I'll just put them back in their houses. And the boys, they get done separate because they will, like I said, the minute I let 2 boys out in an area, they will just go for it. Usually my juveniles, I'll take them with the babies, and then when the mamas have the flight time, the juveniles will have flight time with moms. It just gives them a lot of socializing and teaching, and there's a bunch of stuff that they need to learn, and so that they have time with their moms during flight time. So that's when I usually do all my socializing in the big groups with the younger groups. I usually, when the babies are have wings, then I usually have a couple of the different age groups. I'll have the juveniles with them. So the juveniles usually get out more time than any of them, because they usually are out with the babies if they're safe. Usually the females are usually safe, and then they're out with the themselves, and then they're out with moms. So generally they're out quite a long time, because they have a lot of energy, and they are working, so they work for me. Usually I use all my females as au pairs. Right now, because I only have 2 groups of babies, and I have 3 females, I have 3 out of 5, 3 out of 4, no, 1, 2, 3 out of 4 are females, and the second group I don't know. They're not feathered yet, so I mean they're feathered, but I haven't really looked at. I think a lot of them are not feathered sexable, let me put it that way. They're either tuxedos or all red. What am I doing? I'm thinking ahead. That's my problem. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was trying to figure out what I was doing with this pea pad, and I'm putting it in their house. And I'm like, what am I doing with this? Alright. Now this house is very small, but they're one or they're two. Like, they either like to be in very close spaces, cuddled up with each other, or they don't like it at all. So usually I just make something at this age a little bit on the tall side, so they can walk in and out and not duck. And because they won't like to go in it if they can't really stand up. They don't like to, they will if it feels unsafe, but they don't like it. But I just put the pea pad in there. That way they have something where they can go to bed. And that is they don't have any heat source in this. They have a heat source in the bottom group and the top. So they got about a couple more weeks before I take their heat source away. So anyway, I usually try to put their house on their heat source. Make sure the heat source is turned on, of course. Why is their food dry? Where is their food? Oh, there it is. And I gotta wash their bowl. Wash their water. And then I gotta make sure their temperature gauge is turned on, which it's not. Of course, it's hot out today. And then turned on is for 12 hours. Will get me there tomorrow. So it usually turns off, and I have it on in the morning, and then by the afternoon lunch I have to turn it off because it's so hot. Ooh. I look on the camera and they're all crouched on the other hand, and I'm like, alright, must be hot. Their heating pad's only on one side of the room. But if they're all huddled up under the heating pad, then I know they're cold. Alright. We're on to the nursery. Yo. Hi, babies. I know you're thirsty. You're gonna have to wait. I know you're thirsty. So I've turned the heater on, which is it's like a thermal pad that has the temperature gauge on it for chickens, and it has a little house in there. They have a light. I always keep it either red or green. I don't never put it on the light. They have their food, and their water is over there draining. I have a bucket of water, cleaning water for their dishes, and that's what It's over there draining right now. See, there's my babies. Hey, no more jumping. Alright, Chimama. Gotta go quick with these girls. They're not trained. Inside. Those red ones are tricky. Stop. At this age, it's hard because they're like little daredevils and they don't listen. That's why I put them with the teenager that listens. Alright, so now we're on. You already went in. They're all thirsty. They've all ate. The only thing they're begging for now is food. Oh, and their calcium. I gotta get their calcium. Yeah. That is not calcium, Sherry. That is calcium. So my girls, I learned to do this at night. And not in the daytime. I'll put it in their food bowl though. Cheetah is not old enough to, she's not laying eggs. These are only going in the egg layer group. My pharaohs. Move over so I can put the sample. Move over so I can put it in your bowl. More. Can't see their bowl. Something just. So those are all my females. So they get their little. They make a lot of ruckus doing this. Switch. So everything is in these little buckets. I get these from the dust box stuff. And so we're on to the babies. Now they have their, oops, I forgot to put their camera in. Watch out, guys, I need their camera to go in here. They're like, where'd Mama go? They know Mama's in the camera because she talks to them. I sing to them at night. And when I'm at work, I sing to them, and when I'm at night, I lay down and sing to them, but they can obviously hear me over there. But my voice sounds different on the camera, so they don't necessarily, it takes them a while to figure out that I'm the same person than the person that's talking to them. So it is funny. What did I just do? Okay. Alright, so this is the tuxedo up here down there is just their sisters. So they're two girls. They're the same age. One is got, like I said, a hip dysplasia, and she's helping me out with babies. So the same thing. What I do is I talk around them, make a little bit of noise so they know. She's gotten all the babies. If you saw, they were all over here, and she's now putting them in a defensive posturing. She's got them in a corner. She's got them together. Where's this? There's 4 of those babies. So one of them is hiding either in the house or somewhere. Because I only see 3. So there's 4 babies in there and her. And so usually I just make a little bit of noise so she knows I'm coming. She always does the same thing. She tells them to go over in that corner and wait until the scary lady goes away. So the first thing I do is take the camera, take it out. I'll take their water out. Try to keep my eye on them as well because they are very darty. If I think they're darting around, I'll move the door shut every time. Try not to let them dart out because they will dart. They're crazy up until a certain age. They're just crazy. You guys need to stop. Stop running. I got one over here by the door. They're like, they don't like me doing this because they know what they're going to go in the dust box next. But I like to get all their stuff out because it just gives them the idea of what I'm doing. And I'm very routine. So I try to get all their stuff out first. And then she comes out. Whoops, I got a baby right here by the door. I'm going to use my body to block whatever I need. She's going in the dust box. She can't fly. Well, she can probably at some point. She's not gonna. Blondie was able to take off and fly off the ground. But she's much more developed than Blondie. Like I said, Blondie didn't grow. So her wingspan was pretty good, but her body size was very small. So she was able to take off the ground for a little bit, hover a bit. But she's pretty good size. She's a jumbo. And she's a red wingtip, which is the only one I have, I think, like that. I gotta get my fourth one that came out finally. I don't like to find them. I like them to come out. So if you guys can watch them, they usually are just gonna scurry around and get upset. Scurry around and get upset while I clean out their house and their area. So their house gets a new pee pad. They get a new pee pad on the floor, and then I shake out their no skid pad so they don't get hip dysplasia, which obviously didn't stop her from getting it, but here nor there. Their food gets dumped if they don't eat it in the time. They get changed out twice a day, if not 3 times a day, but most of the time twice a day. Depends on how many babies are in the nursery. If it's under 5, usually it's twice a day, but if I don't usually do big groups, the big groups usually are something like a new line that I'm starting, and that's about because I need to start with a good gene pool. But other than that, I don't generally do big groups. I don't like to do them. So the last group I have in here right now is those topaz from the Theban otter, which is a light. I have a lot of the dark birds, the quails, hornet quails. I have the dark line. I think I have almost every bird in the dark line. But now I'm doing the light line. So I need to. That will be all of the birds I will probably produce, unless I get requested to do some. But that will probably be all the birds I produce of my quail until like 2 years from now, because I have enough for 2 years. So I'm good for 2 years. I eventually want to, if I ever get into a place where I can do a business situation, I would like to do thick and fluffy quail. That trait. So thick feathering, fluffy feathering. I've already seen it in a couple of them, so I know it's there. Some from the different lines, so I know it's not something that was a happen chance. So I would like to do something like that. I also want to try button quail. I don't know if I will try button quail this year or not. I don't know. I might wait until next year, because I'm not going to be breeding any of my birds next year. Because I'm taking next year off as far as breeding. But I might do some button quail, but I don't know, because it means a different kind of. They'd have to stay in a brooder like this. I wouldn't feel comfortable having them in anything else. They're so tiny. So they would have to stay in something like this, which is fine, because I think that's what most people do if they have them. They mostly keep them in something like this, because it's obviously safe. All right, their house is ready. No, their food. I have their food made. It's just I need water. So as soon as I'm done with these babies in there, I'm going to go get my water, and then I'll let you guys go. I got a couple of the boys. I was doing all the boys at night, but then it just got a lot of boys over there, so I just broke it up for myself. So I have some of them that I do in the mornings, some that I do at noon and some do at night, so that I don't have so many of them at night at one time. Alright. I have to go potty. That's let me get this done. Generally, I still have Macho, the boys to do. I have to move their kennel over. I can do that right now. It's pretty easy. I have prepped their area unless the girls came behind me and soiled it, which sometimes they do. Especially if it's the boys, because they get mad at them so much. They're like, Mom's going to be moving them over. I'm going to make a mess for her. I don't think they're doing it for me, but they're definitely making a mess. Alright, so I still have to put their food in there, because like I said, I forgot this is water. One's 7-Up, and one's water, so I can test it. One's 7-Up and one's water. You can't have that. So I watched them on camera. They're on camera. The nursery and the little nursery and the big nursery is on camera. And then when the babies get close to lockdown in the incubators, then I pull the one downstairs, which is they really don't need it at this point, but I pull that one, and then I don't know why I just did that, because that's usually where I put the camera. Put their food where I put the camera. Alright. And then their water. Their water. And then I put their camera back. Now that I've got their food all over it, again, it's going to go over here. Stick it on the other side, which is fine. Alright, put the thermometers back. I usually like to have one close to their house, and then but I can't see it most of the time because I put the bird there, so usually then I'll move it closer so somehow or another I can see it on the camera or whatever. And then this one goes on the other side so I can see that one as well. Alright, and I'm taking them out. I think everything's back. Yep, so this is what it looks like afterwards. They love that bird. They'll run right up it. It's funny. They'll sleep under it. I usually have a cuddle it, something soft and cuddly in there. And then when they get feathered, they go downstairs with that one. Alright. That over there. Alright, so I'm going to grab Sissy first. She gets her therapy after this, but generally let her chill out. And then we'll grab them one at a time. Or two. I usually don't like doing two, because they'll start acting up. And then the door has to be utilized, because they're all in a... That's a sweet baby. Look at that. Oh, it's a sweet baby. They get their feathers, like from the first week, they'll start getting feathers on their wings. You can generally get by 2 weeks feather sexable if they are able to do that with their their feathers. These ones look like they're all feral, which they should be, or they're either ferals or reds. There shouldn't be any tuxedos in that group. So I didn't pull any eggs from them. So that was that group. The only group I pulled from was feral and red. So this duck's box gets here. Then I usually go in here and check to see if Isha laid her egg. I don't fill it in there, so that would be a negative. Probably one of the days off. And then we're going to move the boys real quick. So these pee pads, I'm trying to figure out where I put my stuff away. That goes over there until I can clean up that mess. Pee pads. So generally what I just do is I put the pee pad down, I double it up. They're at bed, so I'm not going to open it up. But I am going to put you down for a minute. Just a second. I guess you didn't need to see this part. And I could have done this part when I was over there. But I didn't. Alright, and just pick it up. And you move it over. And put it back down again. I'm going to pick up the pee pad because I don't think you want to see that. And then it gets mopped and swept and mopped. And that's it. They'll get their waters. Before I go to bed, they all get watered. And I go to bed around 6 o'clock. I don't know what time it is now. But that gets over there. Boys, I still have to do them. Their waters, I still have to do. Everybody's been fed. Everybody's in bed. Sweet, sweet babies. But yeah, these are my my topazes. And we have, we're on day 7. We have 14 days total. So, well, technically their lockdown is at 14. Well, technically they're not at day 7. They're at whatever. I think they were in there. They were in there for 3 days before these ones went into lockdown. These babies right here were in with them. So I do that's how I get them every 2 weeks. Because what I do is when they're in lockdown, I put the new birds in, double up the new birds, and so they're in lockdown when those new birds are in there. And so then after they're born, I turn the turner back on and reset the whole thing, and I obviously have to reduce like the 3 or 4 days, and such. And so that's kind of how it went. But anyway, that's how I do it. Don't seem to have any problems. I have to make sure I obviously do it before they pip. That's the biggest thing, which is why I do it during lockdown. I go in there, manually turn them up until one of them pips. If I do a visual, if I don't see any that's pipped, I will open it up, do my turns, and then the minute we have pipping, we don't do turns. Usually it's only less than 24 hours, because usually they're pretty good about being all born in within 24 hours. If you keep your heat consistent, and the only thing I've ever been able to do to keep my heat consistent is to do the wrap. I just make sure the air vent is uncovered, and then I wrap the whole thing. It doesn't matter what season it is, winter, fall, summer, whatever, it doesn't matter. I wrap it. And it just seems to be able to regulate the humidity and the temperature much better doing that way. So that's how I do it in tandem. Like I said, the next set goes in at lockdown. I keep turning them until we pip. As soon as I see a pip, I stop turning, and within 24 hours, they should all be pipped and hatched by then. I do not leave them in there for the 3 days. They all get removed as soon as I don't have any. All of them are hatched, or there's no pipping. So, for example, if I have 5 of them total, which I think I did with these ones, I had one that was stillborn, which is sad. I had 2 that were actually born backwards. One of them was just got tired out, and the other one I actually had to assist, and she's doing fine. But anywho, I only at this point I assist when they're backwards, because there's no way for them to get out, and usually developmentally they're fine. I haven't had any issues with them being delayed or anything like that. So it's just that they're backwards. But here nor there, I had a bit of a delay. So the one that was backwards was put in here. I actually did put some of them in here. And my stillborn was, like I said, passed away, and the other one did not, because I didn't realize at first that he was backwards. Usually the telltale sign that they're backwards is normally they'll pip, which is basically a little bitty crack. And that's all it is. That's all it is. A big little bitty crack, and that's it. And then the the clock starts. And so what they'll do is at that crack point, they'll just make a line going all the way around, just like a big circle all the way around. Now that is a normal hatching process. For the ones that are backwards, what you're going to see is a round hole like this, because they're stuck, and they're just going around in place with their neck doing the normal pipping motion, but they're not going anywhere because they're stuck in a position because they're backwards in the egg. So you're going to just see a big round, and the hole is going to just get bigger and bigger and bigger instead of a little bitty crack. Eventually you'll see a big hole like this, and not that big, but you know what I'm saying. Enough, but you can see their beak and everything, and you're thinking everything's going to be fine. Yeah, the biggest thing you got to worry about with that is, if you're going to assist them when you're going backwards, is when you start pulling off their membrane, if there is any live veinage. I always pull it back a little bit, the dry stuff, kind of take a peek. If you see anything that's like open veins, stop, put them back in the incubator and wait. So that's what I did with her. She went back in there she was twirling around in there with them for a while. I think it was like almost for a whole day. It took her a while, and then toward that night, I assisted her at that point. She had absorbed all the liquids in her membranes and was ready to be hatched. She just was stuck. So she's doing fine. She's in there with the rest of them. But anyway, that's how I do them in tandem. I just basically, like I said, put them in during lockdown. Do a manual turn. You do generally I heard 5 times a day in 24-hour period of time. It's not a whole lot, guys. It's not a big deal. Like I said, as long as they haven't pipped, you can open up that incubator. I generally don't open the incubator unless I have an emergency situation where I have like one attacking the other one, which I don't have with these birds. Generally speaking, the first birds I got, which was not from Rebecca's line, were a little bit, I had a lot of boys. I had 2 girls and 5 boys. And those boys were ornery and mean and not nice. The ones I have, Sunny D is my only one left of that group, and he's a dreamboat. But the other ones were not nice. Well, 3 of them were not nice. 2 of them were. I didn't unlive them. It was an unforeseen predator attack that happened, so it wasn't something I could have prevented, or I could have prevented it. I just didn't know that the danger was there. Let me put it that way. So I always advise people in the future, if you don't have something hard like this, don't use it for your quail, because any tents, brooder tents, or anything, you need something physically like this. And if you're going to use a tub or a tote, you better adhere the metal mesh at the top that they breathe, the breathe holes and stuff. You better adhere it so that it can't be moved, because it can be, they will be attacked, or can be. So anyway, I let you go. It's been a long time. It's over an hour. I generally don't talk this long, and probably Facebook won't even let me post it. So we'll see what happens. If they don't let me post it, I'll post the first 15 minutes. You guys have a great day. Bye.